Mon enters the morning assuming she and Perrin are on the same side of the net. By the end of the scene, it's clear that assumption is wrong. This breakfast scene reveals something subtly brutal about Mon Mothma's domestic life. Authority here is a solo sport. She enters the morning assuming shared responsibility, shared enforcement, shared adulthood. What she discovers instead is that she is the only one expected to step onto the court. Perrin's role is crucial precisely because it is so mild. He does not contradict Mon, does not argue for Leida's alternative plan, does not escalate. He doesn't shout advice, doesn't take a side, doesn't step in. Instead, he announces facts, defers decisions, and withdraws. He behaves like a Wimbledon spectator who knows the rules well enough to know when not to speak. The effect is that authority is never openly contested, but is never reinforced either. Mon is forced to carry the full weight of the decision-making without the stabilizing presence of a second adult willing to stand beside her. He's very subtle here, but Perrin basically spends the scene looking from Leida to Mon and back and reacting to their smashes and slices. His attention sharpens at moments of tension, his micro-reaction betrays interest rather than allegiance, and he carefully avoids being seen to intervene. Like a well-mannered spectator, he understands that interference would break the spell. He lets the exchange play out, knowing that the longer it goes on, the more exposed Mon becomes. His neutrality is not hostile, but it is not neutral in effect either. By staying off the court, he ensures that Mon is the only one who can lose. Leida senses this immediately. She does not argue about schedules. She questions why Mon wants the schedule at all. "You're only doing it to show off," shifts the terrain of conflict. Once Mon's insistence is framed as self-expression rather than responsibility, every further attempt to enforce the plan reads as ego. Perrin's refusal to arbitrate allows that reframing to stick. He doesn't endorse it, but he doesn't counter it either. The rally continues, and Mon is left defending not her plan, but herself. This is where delegation turns into abdication. Perrin has already made arrangements with Leida privately, but when the moment comes to stand by them, he hands the decision back to Mon. He defers upward while draining the authority that upward position requires. Mon is technically in charge, but she is structurally unsupported. Any firmness she shows now looks unilateral, any flexibility looks like retreat. Her options collapse inward. Perrin's behaviour is not cruel, not mocking, not even visibly pleased. His almost imperceptible smirk is a private recognition that something interesting is happening. He wants to remain unimplicated in the outcome, free to enjoy the exchange without owning any consequences. It's in that asymmetry that the scene's cruelty lies. Mon is still trying to act as if shared authority exists, as if plans are binding because they were agreed, as if procedure carries weight inside the home. Perrin's withdrawal exposes that assumption as fragile. It's hard not to notice how easily his posture scales to the political climate in the galaxy. Perrin's refusal to step onto the court at home feels less like a personal quirk than a way of inhabiting the world. He understands power well enough to know when intervention would be costly, and he consistently chooses comfort over consequence. In the same way he lets Mon absorb the risk of authority in the family, he appears content to live inside the political order without ever pressing against it. He doesn't need to believe in the Empire to benefit from it, he only needs to watch, stay agreeable, and avoid being the one who forces a decision. Like a spectator, he remains informed, entertained even, while ensuring that responsibility always belongs to someone else. Mon has been in 3 scenes now, and each of them has ended with her storming out of them. She was raging inside but smiling sweetly for Cloris after Luthen shut her down. She stormed out threatening to return Perrin's gift, and now she does it again. I think the next time we see her is in the car, so her storming out of that might be amusing, but next time a dramatic storm out is possible without a fatal pratfall, I'll be interested to see if she does do it again. It always happens where her authority ends. Each exit marks the same structural failure repeating in different arenas. Mon reaches the limit of what careful speech, procedure, and moral positioning can achieve, and when that limit is reached, she has no move left. What's striking is that Mon never storms in. She always enters composed, prepared, operating under the assumption that reasoned process still holds. The storming out only happens once that assumption has been disproved. In Luthen's gallery, she leaves when her political leverage fails to convert into action. In the dinner party scene, she leaves when she realizes Perrin has already redefined the social space without her consent. In this breakfast scene, she leaves when both parental authority and spousal alignment evaporate at once. Storming out is not a power move, or an emotional one. It doesn't reset the situation or force a response, it's the opposite. It's what happens when Mon recognizes that staying would either mean capitulation or self-betrayal. The exits are defensive withdrawals rather than theatrical gestures. By the time Mon leaves, nothing has been decided and no one has been persuaded. Perrin remains calm. Leda remains unconvinced but fails to land a conclusive winning shot either. Mon doesn't lose the volley because she's on the wrong side of the argument. She loses due to exhaustion because she's playing singles while the other adult has taken a seat in the stands and is quietly rather enjoying it. Thank you very much.